Thanks for joining us for this episode of Coffee with Closers, where business leaders share insights on how to build businesses from the ground up and best practices for innovating in their industry.
Kristina, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, of course. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. For those of the audience that don't know about you, can you share a little bit about who you are?
Sure. So my name is Kristina Wynne. I work for Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses right now. I'm the outreach and the alumni director for the program, but my background is really in healthcare. So like my undergrad is in biophysics. I got a master's in public health. And the reason for that is because my family owns a compounding pharmacy. So we will have been in business 40 years next year. And what compounding pharmacy really is, because I know some people aren't familiar, we literally make medicine. So we have a non-sterile lab and a sterile laboratory. It's called 200 Pharmacy. It's on the south side of Chicago. And my uncles, who are the owners, are just really experts in the field. We get a lot of doctors who reach out and just for information. So that's my background, just family business in general. I went and got an MPH because I was really interested in the business side of what we were doing. I knew my uncles were very knowledgeable in the space of pharmacy, but the business side of it, I'm like, I want to be more supportive there. I don't want to go to pharmacy school. I started in pharmacy, but I'm like, because it's so detailed and that's not my thing. So, but the business side of it, I was really business development, particularly. How can we grow? We offer all these great services. How do I construct a message, a communication strategy, a marketing strategy, average the whole nine to get more business? And so I stepped down as the director of business development, also can be called the director of sales and marketing for the company to work for Goldman. But that's really where my passion for business came from and my experience. I worked there for literally when I graduated college, I went straight into small business. So this is my first corporate job, and it's very different, It's very fulfilling because of the type of work that we do, but it's very different from family business, particularly, because that's a whole nother situation. People who've never been in family business, I love my family to death, but it is so interesting, it's a lot, but it's truly
it's
fulfilling.
Never done. You can have a family function, you're still kind of in the business mode.
And this is what I tell people, it's the worst feeling to be at work with your family and they have really pissed you off. You pissed me off. Then we have a family gathering to go to and I have to sit here and you all, hey Kristina, you made me upset. And you don't get to just, when you work somewhere, the people who annoy you, it's I'm cutting them off and I only have to deal with them at work. But no, that translates right over into everything that you do because it's your family. So it's a really interesting dynamic. It really, really is. And it takes a special group to be able to function that way because you can't separate the emotion from the business like you would typically be able to do.
Most certainly. So you're part of the Goldman Sachs, which is at the City Colleges of Chicago.
Yes.
You're kind of in the outreach director role. But then you also have a side hustle.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
So I have a business, it's called The Winners Club, LLC. And so I do social media, event marketing, promotion, and business development consulting. One of the things that I realized, and I always tell people, especially if it's a side hustle type of thing where you can't fully commit yourself to your project, make it as much in alignment with something that you do on a daily basis because you can be a lot more successful. You can experience, you get it, you're in the space, so you have opportunity to meet people that can help propel what your hustle is to hopefully being your full-time sustainability, right? Yeah. So in working with the different resource organizations, right, the different chambers, you have a lot of advocacy groups out there for small businesses. I realized they have a hard time reaching the audiences that they're looking for because they're using formal forms of marketing and advertising, right? You have a lot of the leadership are a little older, fair, and so this new age of social media, they haven't fully figured out how to transition into that to use it to its fullest capacity. So in being in small business, on the business development side, it was my responsibility to find new business, right? So I already understood the value of being in association with a larger entity and helping me want to propel different opportunities that I have because they add a layer of reputability to what you do, And so The problem is you have business owners who don't know how to get to these organizations because they don't necessarily know they exist or what they offer. And then you have the organizations who don't really know how to get to the business owners just because they don't know how to reach them properly. Correct. And so that's how I started the Winners Club, but particularly break it down for me, Kristina. It's like this blog, right? Video blog where I literally share resources that are available to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the small business ecosystem of Chicago. And it's just a supportive service to the ecosystem, you know. We get information through social media. LinkedIn is my best platform because that's where most business people go just to, you know, it's some entertaining things on there, but just let me see what's going on in the business world. And so I just want to add value to that because I really have a heart for small business owners. Like my uncles, I saw the struggle. We've been in this community for 40 years and we're trying to get a loan to, you know, to grow the business and to, refinance. We were trying to refinance and just the pushback, you know, and just to see the weight of all that pressure. It's like, I want to help. Like, I just want to be as helpful. And I understand that there are literally resources. Chicago has over 130 different resource organizations that offer free services for entrepreneurs that they have no idea exist that can literally be a support to them in whatever it is. If it's marketing, if it's HR, if it's funding, if it's operations and processes, if you're trying to do an RFP and you want to do some contract. Like literally, there are all these free services out there to support an owner in doing that, but they just don't know they exist. And so that's kind of how the Winners Club got started because I also wanted to support them in the events. A lot of these organizations do workshops, clinics, educational type of things where they're not getting the exposure. They have 5 people in here. You didn't set up a whole beautiful thing, you know, 5 people to show up because they're not able to reach the people. And so that's really how all of this got started.
And I love the passion that you have for the small business market.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I watched the break it down for me, Kristina, and I've learned about a lot of those organizations and kind of the programs that you have available in the city of Chicago. And obviously, sometimes the government is not doing a good job providing advocacy for the small business, and these nonprofit organizations are helping a lot, right?
They really are.
Good. Yeah,
they really are.
Yeah. So obviously you've been in the SMB market, working in the family business, and you had that almost 9 years of experience there, and you have a ton of educational training in those areas as well. And now working in the corporate world, doing the side hustle. What are some of the lessons you've learned? As far as like practically building a business that you think small businesses need to learn from?
I think it's interesting having the experience of working with an established business with my family, right? Because that was, if I started 9 years ago, they had been in business over 30 years when I got started. So all of the different infrastructure was built out. It was literally plugging in and seeing how I can embellish what they've already done. And then the Winners Club, like I've been in business, I think 1 year and 6 months now, where you're starting from the ground, right? You're like doing all, it's really a different dynamic. And so I would say what I've learned more than anything is perseverance. The Winners Club that you see today, it was like 5 iterations of it. It started as weight loss. And so let me talk about how I need to do better with that, right? Like seriously. So when I have a daughter, she's 9 years old. After I had my daughter, like I gained weight, right? And so I did like this, I was in my MPH program at the time, and a young lady from my alma mater, U of I, in Urbana-Champaign, she was getting her PhD program, and it was like education type of thing around healthcare. I can't remember exactly. She reached out to me and she wanted to do a case study on me because the way that I was sharing my weight loss journey with people, but it was more educational because I'm in healthcare, so I understand the health, just trying to bridge that gap. And so I ended up writing this book, and like I was getting all like, it was a wave where it was like, I could have done a lot with it, but I didn't because the pressure really got to me. Like the pressure of being hungry and wanting a piece of cake, and then knowing that people are looking to you for weight loss inspiration, and I'm an emotional eater. So that's something that I end up tabling just because it's like, I know I can't fully be who I need to be for that. I'm not there yet. I'm still working on that because healthcare is so important to me. That was my avenue to try to get people interested in healthcare, to be able to educate them from a personal perspective of my journey and all these things. So I say all that to say, that was in 2013. So now we're in 2019, and I started the Winners Club. I actually established as an LLC in 2018. So I have been doing videos. I have been doing like education and trying to figure out messaging and finding my audience, all using social media. Because mind you, I don't just have a bag of money to be able to put money into real marketing and advertising, but social media is so powerful in the sense of you truly can use it for free if you understand how to maneuver the tool. But so leading up to today, I had so many failures in trying to figure out. I had like a bathing suit line. I had like, sold hair, like just trying to really get a feel for how do you sell on social media? How do you successfully get clients or move your product? And so I would say what I learned again is perseverance, because it took those failures and really those learning lessons of, okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, so that people vibe with the video. Okay, so if I do it, okay, so if I do this, okay, I figured something out now. And so now that's where I am. It's like I finally have figured out kind of for me what I can offer an organization from my perspective, what that actually looks like now, because it took me a while to get here.
Makes sense. I mean, perseverance is one of the biggest lessons you can learn, and also as an entrepreneur, if you don't have it, you give up too soon.
You do.
Yeah.
And that's like what separates the successful from the not successful.
Exactly. And that breakthrough may be just a step away. And then now if you gave up too soon, then you're pretty much lost that opportunity to experience
and discouraged on top of that.
Definitely. So obviously you're surrounded by entrepreneurs. You're running the Goldman Sachs program here. So what are some of the things that you keep observing the SMB, small business owners, are doing wrong from your perspective?
Doing wrong. I would say they are not operating in their strengths. The interesting thing about the 10,000 Small Businesses program is that it's for established small businesses specifically. So we're not working with startups or early stage businesses. We're working with businesses who you know what you're doing, right? But you need help getting to the next level. I think what restricts business owners from doing that is that you get enthralled with the daily operations of your business, that you are not operating in your gift that allows you to grow your business. If you need to be at speaking engagements, but you're on the phone, customer service working, well, you'll never be able to get to that next level because you aren't in the environments that you need to be in, networking and building relationships with the people to be able to do that. And so I think that would definitely be my feedback there, is truly understanding where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and then redirecting your energy to really focus on your strengths so that you can grow your business and employ more people and have, growing revenue.
Definitely. I mean, it's the whole concept of working in the business versus working on the business. I think everybody knows it in the theory, but I think it's putting it in practice is extremely hard. Obviously, you're a busy woman, running a side hustle, working full time, and all these other community events that you're a part of, creating your own content, all sorts of stuff like that. What are some of the productivity hacks that you had to adapt to make sure that you're staying on track?
So for me, time management is really hard because I'm juggling a lot of different things. And communication is it's really time consuming. I don't think people really understand, when you have to construct an email, I have to sit there and think a minute, okay, what am I going to say? I want to personalize it. If I'm on the call, well, I'm one of those people where I try to engage people, so my calls end up being longer than somebody that's just okay, what do you want? Okay, got it, this is what you got. No, I sit there, so how was your day? Oh my God, the weather's so beautiful. How was your 4th of July? Just to try to build those relationships with people. So I would say that time management has been a real struggle for me because of my personality. So I started using this platform called Trello, and it's literally like a project management tool where it gives you these whiteboard options. I can assign tasks to the people that work for me, and I can literally see deadlines, and I can just have everything there so that I know how to be more productive. But I would truly say is, for me, using tools, taking advantage of tools that are out there that can meet some of my deficiencies. I'm one of the type of people where sometimes I allow people to put their sense of urgency on me, where it's I should have very well have told you, give me a week. But because you are so pressed about it, it's let me just see if I can just try to get this done for them. And that piles up and you get overwhelmed with that. So even really learning how to not allow people to put that on you, like, because everything's important to everybody when it's dealing with them, but you only have so much time, and you want to give the quality. So I think holistically speaking, it's time management that has helped me to be more productive in allowing myself to, I guess, stand up for myself in a sense to say, no, I just can't turn that around in 48 hours for you. I literally don't have the bandwidth to do that for you.
Makes sense. Obviously, you have more degrees than a thermometer. You have a lot of education there. But what are some of the things you're doing today to stay sharp and to learn more? Because that's something every entrepreneur needs to do.
I think that the blessing in the job that I have is that I get to be around other professionals in the small business space who are all like in that education, information sharing space. And when I go to events, every time I sit in on our cohorts, I learn something different because I'm in a different space in my life. And so luckily, again, the blessing in it is that I am literally in an educational program specifically for small business owners. And so it does allow me to have, even with the different faculty and the different alum and scholars that are in the program, just a network of people to learn from, because they're pretty much all experts in their particular space, and they put on events, they put on workshops, and because I try to be supportive in that space, giving them exposure, creating content around their events, and attending their events, I get to continue to just learn and learn. And that's why I think my passion for sharing the information is what it is, because I get it. Like, because I'm there, I understand how valuable this is. This is free. A lot of the stuff people are giving you for free. Now, if you choose to move forward with, hey, what you're talking about is very in alignment with what I need, I would be interested in utilizing your services, then that's awesome. But this is just good information for people to be able to be aware of. So whatever it is, wherever you are and what you're doing, you have some tools in your bag that you wouldn't have had if you didn't attend some of these free workshops, events, and clinics, and all these different things are out there for entrepreneurs.
Makes sense. Any parting wisdom for our audience?
Parting wisdom. My parting wisdom would be this. Don't try to do it by yourself. I think we get into this mentality of, I don't know, maybe it's just in my community, African American community, it's like, let me just do this by myself type of thing. I can't speak for all communities. But one thing that I've learned is you are better together. Getting connected to these resources that I'm sharing, it's the reason I'm this passionate about it, because I really have figured the cycle out. People who get like the RFP opportunities or that large, how people, you just want that one opportunity because that's going to help propel you. People who are connected to organizations who are established have a better opportunity or a better chance of getting those type of opportunities, especially as a minority, especially as a small business, a small business too, right? Or a startup early stage. You need that layer of reputability because you don't have it. You can build it, but it's going to take you 10 years to build it. Whereas if you have the backing of this resource organization to say, hey, this is a business we work with, they've gone through this training that we offer, blah, 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 blah. I think they can actually do this job. Now you have the backing of this. Or so my advice would be is please, like, don't let the opportunities pass you by. Don't not make time for stuff like that, because that's what's really important. Networking events are great, like they really are. You get to meet other people, your peers. You want the backing of something more established. Like you want to spend some of that time with an organization like a chamber, like some of these incubators, like your WBDCs, your Illinois SBDCs, your Chicago Minority Supplier Business Development Council. You have organizations whose sole focus are helping businesses get opportunities with larger organizations. So if that's your goal, if your goal is to scale, which I would assume any business owner's goal is to scale, you need to get connected with organizations that can literally help you do that rather than trying to figure it out yourself.
Sounds good. Well, Kristina, thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed our conversation and wish you all the best with your side hustle.
Thank you so much. Yeah. This is awesome.
This episode of Coffee with Closers is brought to you by One IMS, a leading digital marketing agency helping businesses win new customers. To request a free marketing ROI audit, please visit oneims.com. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. To make sure you never miss an episode, please subscribe.